Hi, I'm Emily Grandstaff-Rice, and I'm really excited to kick off my candidacy as a national board member for the American Institute of Architects. I'm running to be the 2023 president-elect, and that also comes with the 2022 vice president role. I'm really excited to do this, and I figured today was a good day to do a video because it's President's Day. It is also my birthday. So wanted to keep it a little lighthearted. A lot of the AIA leaders across the country will be gathering virtually for Grassroots, which is a conference that the AIA holds every year to celebrate leaders amongst the AIA and also to think about government advocacy in ways in which our architects are advocates throughout our professional work, but also our work through the Institute advocating for both architects and the society we serve. My first job was, actually someone asked me about this yesterday. I was hired out of high school to do some drafting, hand drafting, and to start CAD standards at a local firm. And just to totally date myself, yes, I had to learn the architect to do the hand drafting. The program that I worked on first was HOK CAD because I'm a native of St. Louis and that was the CAD program we used. Yes, I still work on drawings, and yes, I know Revit. So I actually didn't become an AIA member until I was licensed in 2003. At the time I worked for a small firm that didn't pay for AIA membership, and it wasn't until I moved to a larger firm that offered it as a benefit that I joined. And I think it made a world of difference in my ability to understand what my colleagues were doing and also those outside of my firm. So Richard Fitzgerald, who was the executive director at the BSA at the time, the classic thing was if you complained about something, then Richard would always turn around and say, well, you fix it. And I think I had done two things. I had complained that a Women in Design event had a pink purse as the icon for the gathering. And I also nominated the Young Designer Professional Institute for a national award and won. And that's actually how I got linked in with the Young Architects Forum way back in 2004, 2005. I ended up focusing locally on leadership within the Boston Society for Architecture chapter. During the recession, it was very difficult to sort of justify doing national work. So I joined the AIA board. I ran for election 3 times, once as a commissioner, once as an at-large director, and then later president in 2014. It was really cool. I enjoyed it. I think I didn't quite understand. There's sort of a part of it that was ceremonial. There was a part of it that was definitely advocacy. But also getting to understand the depth and the range of the members. And also, I think I didn't quite appreciate how valued architects were in society and in the business community until I had that position. The AIA is at a pivotal point right now. The strategic plan is very clear that we need to combat really kind of two different priorities, which is urgent climate change and making sure that we address issues such as equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging, and systematic injustice that has happened both within the profession, but also as a result of our work. So I think for me, those are really important, big goals that will not be solved in a year. This is going to be a multi-year effort. The thing I am most proud of with my AIA national work has been the Guides for Equitable Practice. I chaired the Equity and Future of Architecture Committee and also the Equity and Architecture Commission. And a lot of things came out of that, 11 things to be exact. But the thing that I think will have the greatest impact is the Guides for Equitable Practice, which are a 10-part guide to how, in many ways, it's like the professional practice, but for equity. How firms, how individuals, and how the profession at large can look at some of the systematic frameworks that have kept other people out of this profession, look at it through a new lens and make actionable change. I think that for me is going to be a benefit that will outlive my professional career, and for that I'm extremely proud. I think the one thing that probably bugs me is sort of this idea that architects are stereotypes. Yeah, I'm wearing black now, I totally get that, but as a female architect, I'm not the typical vision of what one would expect. I have had situations where people will say you're a fellow, and it cuts kind of the wrong way because they don't assume that someone who is now 45 as of today can be a fellow and can be this active in the AIA. So changing stereotypes and expanding the idea of what an architect can be is definitely something that I'm very personally passionate about. I would be honored to have my kids become architects. I think a lot of times I hear architects say, this is something you never want your kid to be part of, but I have great respect for the profession, and I think this would be something that they would like to do, if they choose. No, I did not. I think I didn't quite realize it till I was maybe high school level, when you have to go through many of the aptitude checklists and everything. But looking back, there were definitely signs along the way. And I think my parents recognized that. For me, the most exciting thing about being an architect is connecting with my clients and being able to make their vision a reality. It's sort of that intangible, but into tangible. And for me, it's very important for there to be kind of a physical product of the work that I do. Maybe it's sort of the foundations of being an artist at heart. So that brings me great joy. There's nothing like walking into a building that you had a hand of and just sort of taking that deep sigh and knowing like this was part of my work. Yeah, that's what totally gets you. The things that either got built wrong or they didn't quite work out the way that you want, and it will still irk me to this day. There's one building I look up at the ceiling and I just go, I am so glad it's 2021. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I miss seeing colleagues. I miss those side conversations. I miss being able to overhear things. Right now I have to be much more intentional about connecting with my colleagues and making sure that it's those small moments that still happen, even though they're virtual. I miss my good clothes. I get lazy sometimes. So I'm kind of looking forward to dressing up again and making sure that, I don't know, I enjoy that. So I'm hoping that the era of yoga pants goes away. I think for me, it's to create a deeper dialogue about why we are all leaders within the AIA and collectively what national can do, but also understand that local components, and I'll say this in my speech tomorrow, that goes out to the grassroots participants, that local chapters are the lifeblood of this organization. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to recording more of these videos over the next 4 months, and of course, calling many of AIA leaders, hopefully to ask for your support, and enjoy yourself at Grassroots. Thanks. Bye.